Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Anxiety and Depression is Not the End. If you have been asking yourself, why do I have anxiety? Why do I have depression? Or even if you have hit rock bottom, you're asking yourself, why am I going through this situation? You are watching the right video because I went through that, and that was one of the questions that I asked myself every single day. All right. And I would just want to tell you this right now, that it is absolutely normal to ask yourself those questions because life is going to throw you, many obstacles. And sometimes they come at the time where you don't expect them, right? Like for example, when I had my concussion, I didn't ask for that, right? It just happened to me. And after that, that led me to having anxiety, and after that, it led me to having depression, and then I hit rock bottom eventually, right? So, the one question that I probably asked the most was, why me? Why am I the one out of 8 billion people in the world that I'm going through this? All right. And if you're asking yourself those questions, it's okay, because you are, are trying to find answers to why, you're going through this darkness. Like, does it make any sense for you? Like, have you been asking yourself, I am a good person, then why do I deserve this, right? I've done nothing wrong. Why am I going through this, right? I had to, go through a phase asking myself all these questions, right? Because I was confused. I didn't understand why, I was looking at my neighbors and my friends, and I'm looking at their families. I'm looking at them, and I'm seeing that, they're so happy. I used to be like that. And that got me to become jealous, and I was so envious, right? Um, but again, that is I was going through a chapter during that time, a really dark chapter, and sometimes when it gets to a point where it gets really, really dark, and you start to lose a sense of who you are and where you are at life, and maybe even if you're thinking that, hey, you know what, there isn't going to be anything positive for me in the future, you're going to come to a point where you want answers, right? These answers aren't going to be there for you at the moment, because first you have to do a realization. All right, this is what I had to go through after asking myself, why me all the time, was because I had to think about what my life was before I had anxiety and depression. Who I was before all of this happened, right? Was I happy before I had anxiety and depression? Like, sincerely, was I really, really happy? Or, I was just faking it every single day and pretending to smile. And I look back and I told myself, you know what, maybe I was. Maybe I wasn't happy. There was something deep inside myself that that I couldn't find yet, right? To understand what it was for me to do for myself, to really appreciate my life and appreciate who I was. I never really focused that attention on to myself, with understanding that I have to look at myself and I have to love myself, right? And those are the key things that were missing in my life that I hadn't realized yet, right? And as I kept asking myself, why me, because I honestly thought that I didn't deserve any of this. I didn't deserve to go through, day after day of crying and suffering, and watching my family fall apart and seeing my mother not happy anymore, and creating this dark world for myself, and and making myself believe that I was going to be living in this darkness for the rest of my life, right? I had to go deep into my mind to really pull out those key things that are going to help me answer that question for myself, why me, right? Then I started to understand that, we are going through this journey, right? Our life journey, our story. And within our story, there are going to be many, many different chapters. Not all of them are going to be good. We're going to have some good ones. We're going to have some really bad ones, okay? But somehow, some way, we do find a way to get through those dark chapters, so we can move forward onto the next one. right? This anxiety and depression that I was going through and you are going through is part of that's your story. What is it about this chapter that you are going to learn so that when you come out of it, when your next new chapter begins, what are you going to learn from this dark chapter that's going to make your next chapter better and brighter for you, right? And for me, even though, suffering through my anxiety and depression, I learned so much about myself. I think that is the most important thing, right? I started to learn that, I need to look at what I already have in my life, all right? Being grateful for everything that I already have, right? Like, for instance, my family, that I have a house to live in, that I have 3 meals a day, that, that I'm not in jail, or, I'm not in a situation where there are many, many people around the world that are in a worse situation than I am, right? I had to compare myself to that, right? That I am better off than a lot of people out there in the world right now, okay? So that kind of changed the way I was thinking, right? Then I started telling myself, if I am suffering right now and I don't deserve this, then there's got to be something there. There has to be some sort of answer that maybe because I am going through this is the only way, number one, that I can find out how strong I am. Number two, to learn to be more grateful for the things that you have in your life, and appreciation for your life and yourself, right? To appreciate everything that you've been through so far in your life right now, that you have forgotten. You have overcome so many things in your life already to get to where you are today, right? Right? And we all forget that because there's just so many things that are going on in our mind that it is normal for any of us to forget about that. But we have to remember, the effort that we put in, every single day to get to the next day, right? And, as I kept asking myself, why me, I started to understand a little bit more. The answers started to become more clear to me that, in order to find my own strengths, in order to really believe in myself, and, my perspective about people and the world, going through this dark chapter was going to help me realize all of these things so that I myself can start working on that better version of myself, right? Because before I went through my anxiety and depression, I never knew anything about that. I always felt like I was stuck in the same position, that I was always going to be the same Roger, that I was never going to evolve. I never had that mindset where, if I put effort towards myself to make myself better every single day, I can get better. Every single day you can get better. And, I made it my goal to work on myself every single day so that I can work on the best version of myself. All right. And the more I understood why I was going through that journey, the less I asked myself, why me? Because it was clear to me now, during my healing process, that, even though I didn't ask, or I felt that I did not deserve to go through that darkness, to have anxiety, to have depression, or to hit rock bottom, that it was the only way for me to go through such a dark chapter, to realize a lot of things in life and to realize a lot of things about myself, right? So it's about learning. If like, I was lost. I was so lost before any of that happened to me, right? I was, even before my anxiety and depression, I had many answers about life that I couldn't answer for myself until I went through the dark chapter, even though it was the most difficult chapter that I ever had to go through in my entire life, that I learned many valuable lessons, right? You're not going to see it now if you're in a situation right now where you are asking, why me? Why do I deserve this? And you're just hoping and praying that one day this is all going to be over, and it will, right? But through the process, through this journey of yours, I believe that you are going to learn just as many valuable lessons as I did going through, even though it is difficult. But, at the end of it, when you have, moved a little bit further down the journey, and when you start to realize that, you can start to heal yourself, and that this chapter is not the end. This anxiety and depression is not the end. That after this darkness, there is going to be a better version of yourself because of what you realized. And then you are going to come up with so many answers to those questions you had. Those days when you looked up and you're talking to the up above, and you're praying and you're just asking, I just need one specific reason why I'm going through this. You're going to find the answer for that, right? It's going through darkness, but at the same time, you're going to find the light afterwards, right? I look at this whole journey, and I've said it so many times, that it was a blessing in disguise. And of course, it is easy for me to say now because I've healed myself. But as long as you know that, if you have that in your mindset, that one day, this darkness, those dark clouds that when you wake up in the morning and that's all you see, it's going to clear, right? All those questions that you've had since the beginning about why you're going through this and why it is you that has it and no one else, right? You're going to understand that it is a journey that you're going through, and not everyone is going to go through what you're going through. Remember that, right? Some people may say that you are fortunate that you're going through this because, it's like going out to battle in a war and winning it. And when you come back home, you feel victorious, right? This is that same battle. When you've gone through it and you've gone through that adversity and all those challenges, but you are able to, keep your head up high and tell yourself that you're going to make it, right? You're going to win this battle. And when you win this battle, you are going to understand the true meaning of your strength. And I think that is the most important thing about this journey that you're going through, that you're going to realize how strong you truly are. All right. So if you're asking yourself every single day, why me? Hopefully this video kind of gives you an idea of what I went through, and what are the things that I learned through my journey that helped me answer those questions. Why me? Because when you go, after you have gone through this entire chapter of darkness and you've healed yourself from it, you're going to look back at this chapter and you're going to understand why this chapter happened to you. All right. Just remember that if you're in this darkness, to never lose hope, to always have faith, and to always believe in yourself and believe that you're going to see brighter days. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Please like the video, and I will see you on my next episode of Anxiety and Depression Is Not the End. Take care. Bye-bye.
Are you tired of those negative thoughts? Let's get rid of them.
I say yes to life. I have faith in myself. I create my life.
I am a creative person. I have unlimited energy. I feel good. Nourish your subconscious with positivity. Just listen to Inner Tune and start changing your life, one thought at a time.